Welcome to Spartan Theology for another episode of Critical Apologetics Review. Most of my videos in this series have been kind of direct response videos to other apologetics content I've found on YouTube, which this is similar but not exactly the same thing. So, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about how, and I'm singling out Mike Winger in this video because I think I don't know, he's probably the most popular, and a lot of other people like Alicia Childers, who I just talked about in my last video, this Red Pen Logic, Dr. B or something. He's known, yeah, Red Pen Logic. I'm not exactly sure. He does the same thing, but there's a lot of conservative evangelical, apologists online that do the same thing. But what I'm talking about here is, you saw in the thumbnail, shadow boxing. And what I think the issue really is that a lot of these conservative evangelical apologists are talking about progressive Christianity and not talking to progressive Christians. Now, do I think making response videos is a bad thing? Obviously not. I mean, I do it on my channel. I think it can give people, like when I do it, I like to use their videos as kind of a jumping off point to make my points and show where I think they're flawed. And so I don't think there's necessarily an issue with response videos or content that's talking more about a topic, and not all your content has to be conversations. But what I do want to point out here is that I want to show, I pulled up, that's why I have the screen next to me. I just searched Mike Winger progressive Christianity. You can see at the top, and as you scroll down, there's just video after video after video. I mean, this has 18 videos in a series that Mike Winger did with Alicia Childers. Video. Just so many. And then there's a few other channels, but then Mike Winger. And then this is Brandon Robinson, who's a progressive Christian that Mike Winger has made a number of videos about. This is one of Brandon's videos, but it's still Brandon, who I guarantee would talk to Mike Winger, is talking about him, and that it's all he could do, right? Because he won't talk to him, and it's just so. What I'm pointing out here is, look at how many videos, and none of them are conversations. Ooh, my video, let's go. But none of them are conversations with progressive Christians. They're all just talking to progressive Christians. And I just want to encourage people out there, if you're watching my content, one of the biggest things I'm trying to stress, along with having good theology, which I'm hoping to kind of show people some new theology maybe they haven't heard, or new perspectives, but not just being right, but how you go about it is so important. And if you're learning about progressive Christianity only by someone who's critiquing it, that's not the way to do it. You're gonna get a flawed, biased view. And all Mike Winger is doing is providing this biased perspective, anti-progressive Christianity. Not talking to them will allow them to bring out some of the nuance, and maybe they can agree on certain points and disagree and can hash that out. And sure, it's fine that Mike Winger is conservative and doesn't agree with progressive Christianity, but the issue I'm taking is, there's not a single conversation on YouTube where he's talking to a progressive Christian. It is all talking about progressive Christianity. And that's why, like I said, shadow boxing is kind of the theme of this video. And shadow boxing, I put the definition in the thumbnail. I thought looked interesting, but it really is exactly describes what's going on. The definition: the action of making a show of tackling a problem or opponent while avoiding any direct engagement. That is exactly what Mike Winger is doing with progressive Christianity, as well as a number of other people. Frank Turek, Alicia Childers, this Red Pen Logic. Who else I see? Alan Parr, I think, is another one of these channels. It's just tough to see. And one person I'll give a little bit of credit to, or some credit to for sure, is Sean McDowell. He has conversations, and he's honest conversations. I think I've appreciated. He talked to this guy's name was like Cody something, I think, but they had a few conversations that were interesting, and it was with a progressive Christian. So I'll give him that. At least he's exposing his audience to and allowing the progressive side to have their say. And this video isn't about getting into the arguments. My video right here isn't about getting into the arguments. I just want to point this out, and it's just a major flaw I see, and I think it really shows how weak a lot of their critiques of progressive Christianity are these people like, Alicia Childers and Mike Winger. And I'm pointing out Mike Winger because he's the biggest and has the most videos. It's just the most, makes clearest as day when you look at this search. But yeah, it just shows a lot that they're not actually engaging with the other side. And I don't even like calling it the other side because it's like Christians, but they're not engaging with progressive Christianity. They're just talking about it and making, and just, you know, it's just tough. It's just, and then, yeah, what do you mean? Another one talking about, I mean, I know I typed in Mike Weir, but this Melissa Doherty, who I talked about in my first video in this series I did with John from Apocalypse Here. Oh yeah, was it 1 minute apologist? But it's like, it's funny too. This is another thing. Yeah, it's funny too. People like Alicia Childers and Mike Winger will be brought on to other YouTube channels as like an expert on progressive Christianity to show like the flaws and stuff, when they're not having the conversations necessary to be considered that. So just something I want to point out, pretty quick little video, but I think it's a very important thing. So with that, thanks for watching. If you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment, I really appreciate it, and have a good day.